Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are not, welcome back. Don't forget to hit that like button, go on ahead and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you are notified when I upload new content. In this video, we will be making homemade lasagna, so let's get right into it. So I'm starting with prepping my homemade noodles, and you will need 400 grams of Tipo 00 flour, 4 eggs, 1 teaspoon of olive oil, and a pinch of salt. I was able to find this flour in my local Target, so you should be able to as well, or if not, you can order it online. Depending on how much pasta you need, you usually just use the ratio of 100 grams of flour per 1 egg. And so for lasagna, like I said, I use 400 grams of the flour, 4 eggs, and I also added the olive oil already to my eggs and the salt already to my flour. And you see here, I'm making a well in the center of the flour. So you start off by making your well in the center of your flour, and then you will see I add the eggs in the center. And then I begin to just incorporate the eggs with the flour slowly but surely until I get a crumbly dough. Once you have a workable ball that holds together, now mind you, it will still be crumbly at this point, but as long as it's holding together, you just transfer the dough to a working surface, whether that's a table or a wooden board. On your working surface, you knead the dough until it's yellow in color and holds together nicely. That's around 10 minutes, so yes, it is an arm workout, but it's worth it in the end. You can see here that I'm working and kneading the dough into a heart shape. I learned this tip from YouTube. Once your dough is formed into a nice ball, you then wrap it in saran wrap. So I wrap it with 2 pieces to make sure that it's covered tightly. And then I'm going to let it rest at room temperature for 30 minutes. And while I'm letting it rest, I'm going to start working on my meat sauce. In a pot on the stove, I add olive oil, and then for the base of my meat sauce, I use onion, green pepper, and garlic. I saute the vegetables until they're about opaque in color, and then I begin to add my protein. For my family, we use ground beef, but of course, for your family, you choose whatever protein you guys like, whether that's turkey, whether that's chicken, whatever you choose to use for your family. But for my protein, we use beef, and then I add that to the green peppers and onions and garlic mix. So a quick tip or a quick thing that I learned a while ago is that instead of seasoning my meat before I drain it, I go on ahead and cook the protein, and then once I drain it and have it back on the stove, I then season it. Yes, it may sound strange to some, but until I tried it, I did not realize how much more flavor it added to the meat. Instead of seasoning before and then draining it, once I drain my meat, it adds so much flavor when I add my seasoning after the meat is drained. And so, hey, if it's something you want to try it out and let me know your thoughts. You can see here I use my traditional seasonings, which means the Cajun seasoning or the Creole seasoning, Tony's. I use garlic, I use onion powder, I use black pepper, I use garlic salt as well. And what I do is I season the meat, and then once I add my sauce, I season it again. So I make sure that there's levels of flavor in my meat sauce. And for the sauce, I just grab cans from my local store. I use the Hunt's pasta sauce. I usually use the variety of cheese and garlic, traditional, and then tomato basil. So as I said earlier, I go back in and re-season my sauce. And yes, I will go ahead and say, even though you don't see it on camera, I did add a little brown sugar to my pasta sauce, and I don't care. I don't care. I am the type that adds sugar. I don't want to hear the argument of sugar does not go in spaghetti sauce. It does for me and my family. So how you cook for your family is your business. How I cook for mine is my business. So getting back to my dough, it has been 30 minutes and I have went ahead and attached my pasta roller to my KitchenAid mixer. And so you attach it to the power hub of your KitchenAid stand mixer, and I will leave the link in the description to the exact attachment that I use. But once it's on, you go ahead and use your floured surface. You cut your ball of pasta dough into 4 equal sized pieces. As I begin to work on one piece of the dough, I do cover the other 3 pieces tightly so that they do not dry out while I'm working to make the lasagna sheets. I begin pressing out and flattening out the dough a bit so that when it goes through the dough attachment, it's a lot easier. And then I lightly flour my hands and lightly flour the dough. And depending on your pasta attachment, you may need to adjust your settings after each pass. The attachment that I use, and again, I will leave that link below, it starts at the highest number and then I work my way down to the lowest number. I do start off by using my rolling pin to kind of flatten it out even more so that my attachment doesn't have to struggle to thin out the sheet. You guys will see that I keep working it, I keep rotating it, and then I go down through the numbers until the sheet is thin. The key for pasta is to get that rectangular shape, and so how you do that is that each time you pass it, you rotate the pasta and feed it in through the next setting. So you have to rotate it each time you feed it through your attachment. Another quick tip that I like about this pasta attachment is that it also has the cutter for Alfredo noodles, and so I've made Alfredo before using this attachment, so it gives me a dual purpose. It not only flattens and makes pasta sheets for me, but on the other side it also has a cutter to cut my noodles for Alfredo. By the time that I'm done with the lasagna sheets, you will see that it's opaque, and then you can kind of see my hands through it. And so that's how you know that the sheet is done or the pasta is done, is when you can kind of see your hand through it. Then put the pasta on a cookie sheet and kind of just rub it with flour so that it can kind of dry out a bit before I get ready to boil it. I have a pot full of boiling water, heavily salted, and once it's really ready and really boiling and salted, I add my noodles in there for a quick 2 to 3 minutes, maybe even less than that. You just want to get your noodles soft and pliable so that you can assemble your lasagna. time to assemble the lasagna. At the bottom of my pan, I add some of my meat sauce, and then on top I will be adding the noodles, meat sauce, cheese, and then layering as such. For the cheese, I use just some fresh mozzarella, fresh Parmesan, and then some shredded Parmesan as well. I will bake this in the oven at 350 for about 35 to 45 minutes, definitely until the cheese is nice and gooey and the top is brown. And that's it, guys. This lasagna was delicious, and it made it even better to have fresh homemade noodles. Let me know if you guys tried this recipe in the comments. I will see you guys on my next video. Until then, stay blessed. Bye.